Hey y'all, it's me again, Joey.
Well, ready to let them loose?
Yep, that's it. Let's see if they make us run.
Oh,
Probably so.
yeah, that one tried to get after him, but other than that, what can you expect? I mean, can you blame them? Oh yeah, they're getting after us now. Go, Joey, go!
Hey man!
Hey, man, buddy. I'm gonna get in the truck. You gotta go back and get your camera.
But also, just get as many as you can off the one next to it. Out.
You gotta move away.
Do that side again. Y'all ready? Let's get started. Hey, here we are again, another Saturday night in our little corner of the internet, our little bee yard. Glad you popped in there, Clay.
Yeah, I saw JW in there with you. Figure I'd let him give me a hard time.
Yes, sir. That may happen.
That's good. It makes you live longer, right?
Yeah. How you doing? You get your roof half patched up at least?
Yeah, I got it patched. I was on the ladder today. Amy is down at the bottom making sure it stayed in place, and I got it patched up. So
Oh, good for you, buddy.
I'll get a boom in there and get it all fixed right. I'll have to get a professional to do the chimney though. I'm not gonna mess with that.
Is it a line chimney or it's probably sold? It probably, if it's a real old house, probably wasn't even lined.
No. That was I had that one put in 2005 on the
well,
outside
okay.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good chimney. Heavy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen the 2-piece block.
Yeah.
It's like what, 11 or 12 by 7 or 8.
Yep.
And those things are heavy. I don't know how that guy lifted them up. But he did it.
So everything else is good. You got all your work done. Ready to go fishing?
Yeah. I did mess with some bees today. And I'm gonna have to combine one. I don't know why they didn't make a queen. So, and then I've got one that I'm curious about. I took a queen out from a resource hive and put it in a laying worker hive, and there's just a couple of eggs in that one on both sides of one frame, and that queen was laying. I don't know. And then I go back to the one that was the resource hive, and there's a queen in there, and she's laying up a storm. So I don't know. Did she fly back? I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. That was on the 23rd of July that I did that little switcheroo.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Man,
I
I tell you,
extracting today, so
too hot to be messing with bees.
It was.
How much you get extracted there, Mr. JW?
I think I had 11. I got 11 boxes for it quit. It's hot.
That's
I was showing my outside thermometer, and I don't know. I'm not saying it was right. I was showing 105 outside. I was in my extraction building, where I do all my extracting, and I've got 3 fans and 2 humidifiers and a tower air conditioner, but you don't. It's 1,200 square foot. My extraction building is, so that
I'll get it
little
now.
car air conditioner don't cut it when it's really hot like this. So, and I'll tell you what, we lucked out. We got all those supers off Thursday with no robbing. So I left 2 pallets of them sitting out on the approach to my shed where I extract. I went out there yesterday morning. I mean, they found a hole they could get in. I had them on pallets, and I had the pallets covered with cardboard. I thought I had them sealed tight. They found a hole in that cardboard someplace. They was having herself a big time. I had about 2,683 bees, around that one pallet. So I got my grandson to come out and help me, and I went out and get my little tractor, gonna pick up the pallets and just set them inside because I got overhead doors in my extracting shed, and battery's dead enough flat with the hammer. It wouldn't even wiggle the dial. So come back up there. My grandson, bless his heart, I had him sitting pretty close. They just on the approach to the building. He picked every one of them up, and I set a couple more pallets inside, but I wanted them, I put the cardboard underneath the pallet, so I wanted to blow through them in case it was any of it wet, which it had, and I've tested everything so far. I had one 18.6, and the rest of them been the 17, so I'm just pretty much taking that as she comes. So, but anyway, he unloaded 2 full pallets and moved them and set them inside the shed for me by hand. So I was standing there with the blower trying to blow all the bees off of them I could as he brought them in there. We got them all excited or inside, and I got them covered with sheets and put some honeybee gone, sprayed the sheets with honeybee gone. They started coming out of there, and my windows was black. And I got out my I got what was Colorado Bee Vax. I had that thing almost plumb full 3 different times. He's going to the windows. I turned all the lights off, the overhead lights in my shed where they'd go to them windows. And man, I could just go down through there just like he was collecting a sample, just slide that hose down through there and then just whoosh. But anyway, I think I counted every bee I caught. I put it on a little video that I posted a while ago. It was like 1,319,247 if I counted every bee just right. When I caught that bee.
You can tell Mr. JW is used to counting cows. They count all the feet and divide by 4.
Well, JW, I think it means your flow must be over, huh?
You know what? I had some honey, and I had a little foam on the top of my bottling tank. And I took some saran wrap and cleaned that foam off. My dad didn't out there in peace. I think he just wanted to rob. I don't think that I still got a good flow.
Okay.
I really do. I think they would just wanted to rob. And
they wanted their honey back. They're not robbing. You were the robber.
Yeah.
Or Matt was. We'll blame Matt, right?
Yeah.
He's the robber.
He did. Bless his heart. They worked there. It was hotter than blue blazes Thursday. He came out here. One of my sons and one of my grandsons helped him, and I just kind of tried to keep ahead of him. And I had a little old trailer, and when his trailer get full, I'd haul it up to the shed and set them off the trailer and go back and get another load. And the last load, I wanted to try to get it all on. I must have had, it's just a little old light 2-wheel trailer, and I must have had a ton or better on it. I blowed a tire. It's the last trip up to the shed with it. So
always something.
We got through it, and that, but he saved my bacon because my son and grandson, they don't I said, Matt, just do it like it was your own. If you whatever you pull, well, that's what we'll use. I could care less. I said, all I'm going to tell you is if it's questionable as to whether to take a super or not, why err on the side of the bees. If there's got a little brood in it or something, leave it for the bees. Don't take it. So that's what he said he done. He said he probably left maybe 2,000 pounds on the hive, so we ought to be in good shape. So broke them all down, got them down to get either deep in a medium or double deeps ever hive on the place. So he did me a good job, but I'll tell you what, he was hot and he worked like a slave. But bless his heart, he'd saved my bacon because I couldn't have done it by myself.
So you're able to get up and down on a tractor already?
Oh yeah,
That's good.
yeah. I'm going. It'll be 3 weeks come Monday since I had the surgery, and I'm able to get around. I'm trying to use a cane. I kind of overdone it yesterday. I was a little bit. I went to bed last night at 7:45.
Wow.
Woke up at 10:30, and I was so tired then I couldn't go back to sleep. I was still awake till almost 4.
Oh, that's bad.
So,
you get back on track, you'll be all right. Because it's not easy getting up and down off a tractor.
Well,
my neighbor, he's 82, almost 83, and I bought his tractor from him.
Yeah.
And we keep it over at his house so he can use it anytime he wants, and if I need it, I'll go get it. And he brought it over. No, I brought it over. I brought it over to get that last piece of tree off the house. Yeah. And I just did not have let's just say the experience. You know what I mean? to pick that thing up and try to push it off because I was scared I was going to mess it up worse. He got up there on that thing and he pushed that tree right on off the house. Just kept going. Sure. Experience is everything, man. So, but he's 83 years, almost 83 years old, still getting up on that tractor. So hats off to him. So,
I'm almost 83 too, and
yeah, you're my dad's age, I think.
I will be at Nobby, and I go every day on pretty much. So it is what it is.
I think my dad turns 83 in December. So
your dad?
Yep, my dad.
I thought he was older than me.
Who?
You.
I'm 60.
Oh.
I just look bad. I've been rode hard and put away.
I hear you, old buddy. I'm bragging you. I'm going to.
Oh man, I love it. I love it, man. You give it to me all you can. I love it. I do.
I'm going to try to get Oink on here tonight, Joy.
Well, he's in here.
He's hanging out there. Get that pig fired up, Ramsbottom. Let's do a little chatting.
That was funny.
Oh, so you ended up with a little honey, did you not, Clay?
Yeah. I've still got a little bit I can pull. Yeah, I'm at 1,500 and something pounds. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, it looked bleak.
Well, Matt comes on here. He'd verified. I'm going to say 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that awful much. Most of my honey's been accumulated by my bees here. It's put it on the last, 4 weeks. So.
Yeah, it was bleak for a long time. It really was, and basswood. I mean, I don't even know where any of it is.
Yeah,
it's around here somewhere, obviously.
It's usually, we're around the edge of the woods or some fence rows someplace. The majority of it around here is the way it grows out here. We don't have a big bunch of it. We got enough. I just call it linden. It's
Yeah, the linden tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Like I say, I've watched a video about the basswood tree and the linden tree, and they said the old timers used to really depend on that to make a lot of honey. They said one mature basswood would produce 600 pounds of honey. So
I've heard the old time. There's not enough of it in this country to go that far. My dad had kept bees.
Okay.
And I used to help him some, but he'd make me get out there. I got my first bees in 56. And the winter of 55, coming 56, I helped my dad cut 3 bee trees. And of course, I didn't save any of those bees, but for helping him there, that he gave me my first beehive in 1956.
That used to be a way of beekeeping back in the day. They'd
Oh, yeah.
find a tree out in the woods. They'd go cut that thing down and get all the honey
Oh, yeah. Take every bit of it.
and
Well,
firewood.
up here, it's cold as the dickens. If you bust into them, it's going to die anyway. Wasn't no way you could save them. Maybe even if you had today's equipment, I don't think there'd be any way you could save them. So
I've sat there when I was like 9, 10 years old out in the woods and watched them cutting that big tree down.
yeah.
Then they go to grabbing comb, putting them
Yep.
in buckets, pots, and pans.
We just had crosscut saw, and Dad, I wasn't really, I don't know, I think I was 11, 12, maybe 50, 55. I'd born in 44, so I'd be 11, I guess. And he'd say, we'd go to cutting that old tree down, that crosscut, he'd say, son, get with the program, you're riding, because I wasn't pulling her back when he pulled her towards him. So you're riding. I never forget he say, you're riding.
That's real work.
Yeah, I've helped quite a bit of that. We support. We couldn't pay attention, Clay. I was the youngest of 10, and big family. And I had about a 3-acre garden.
Were you born and raised in Illinois?
No, not totally. I'm a born
Good.
Texan. I don't tell too many people that.
In Texas?
Yeah, oil patch.
Okay.
Do you ever watch Landman?
No, I've never seen that.
That series, The Landman, that's on.
Yeah.
It's all filmed right there in West Texas, Stanton, Big Springs, Lamesa, Midland, all them West Texas towns. I think Jeremy up there, that Ganado honey guy, I don't think he lives too far from there. But I just as a little guy, my grandparents and stuff was from Illinois. My dad was an old wooden derrick builder. That's how he got started in the oil field. He built them stationary derricks back before they got the big portables. He was it was a Tulsa Rig and Reel, so he worked for. It was a subsidiary of Standard Oil Company.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So I didn't know that. Texas.
Well, don't tell anybody.
I won't. There's beekeepers don't spread stuff, so don't worry about it. They don't tell secrets.
Just me and you and Joey's the only ones who knows that. So
that's right.
Don't be telling nobody.
All right, I won't.
If anybody
says something, it's Joey, not me.
There's nothing out there but oil. I mean, if you wasn't in the oil business out there, there wasn't nothing out there but sandstorms, horned toads, rattlesnakes, and tumbleweed. And just I I'd get aggravated as a kid. You couldn't keep birds in your bicycle. That old sand blew all the time. You know, you ride one about a week, the birds would be wheel birds would be out of the bicycle axle. I hated it.
Well, back then it was just that one wheel bicycle, right? Those big, giant one wheel bicycle
Oh,
with a
no.
little one in the back.
I'm not quite that old.
Uh,
I tried to make one of those one time. Didn't work out too good.
oh, that's a
You know,
laugh.
Okay, Eric Tennant can be up between Abilene and Midland over Labor Day weekend. Well, Eric, I'm glad it's you and not me, old buddy.
if I still remember how to do the wheel, I'm gonna give one of these brushes away tonight.
All right.
They good to your hair.
I think you brushed your hair too much there, Joey.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Yep. My daddy, Roy, was born in 1898. My daddy was born then. My mother's oldest. She always said she was oldest years. She was born in the 1900s. But Dad was born in 1898. He was 2 years older than Mother.
Yeah.
That's old school, folks. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
JW, old Todd wants to know, did you check Matt's pockets before he left?
Yeah.
Your property.
I don't worry about Matthew. In fact, I'll tell you what. Of course, he makes that. He's make that fondant.
Yeah.
You know, making that fondant. His big competitors. You know, that Hive Live or whatever it is. That he's got one there. He left one of his hive too. He left it out here, and he left his sippy cup. But I've got his sippy cup put up. I'll give it back to him. I may pee in it while he's up. I'll make sure he gets it back, though.
Woo. JW's feeling good today.
Oh, he's been a big help to me. I can tell you that. This. You know, you talk about my dad kept bees, and I'd help him as a kid. I didn't think too much of it back then. I'd wished but I tell people would ask me about it, said, did you learn anything from your dad? I said, well, when I was helping Dad, I was more interested in the birds than the bees than I was the bees. So I didn't. I wish now that I'd got older, some of them old methods that he used and different things. Of course, back then, God help us, boys, we didn't know what a varroa mite or, you know.
Yeah.
You cut a bee tree or got some bees, you just put them out there in a box. If you wanted to rob them once a year for the honey, you could get by with it. You never. Oh, that was in about, what, 95, 96 when them doggone Asian mites and African beetles started showing up.
Yeah. You know the way
beekeeping was easy. Anybody, if you want some honey, didn't care to get stung a time or two. You could get you a hive or two to stick it out there in the backyard or next to the house or wherever. You didn't have to worry about treating them or, you know, anything like that.
Yeah, didn't go in them really about twice a year.
Yeah.
But my uncle used to catch swarms, and all he'd do, he would set an old box out there and just put a little bit of honey in that box every few days and get drawing bees there, stealing that honey out of that box.
Yeah.
He said, before you know it, you got bees moving in it.
Yeah. I put out some old honey. I'd forgot about it. I had a bucket sitting over in the corner of my extraction shed, I popped that thing open. It had some last year's. It was all crystallized. Some light honey. It was. I didn't know. I didn't want to bottle it. Most of that light honey is don't keep very good. It has a tendency to crystallize anyway in the bottle sometimes, and I'm not real fond of bottling it, so I don't. If I do bottle it, I just keep it separate in a separate bottling tank and bottle it as I need it because you don't keep very long.
Brian wants to know, old Flower Street wants to know how you got started in the cattle business.
Well, I used to help a neighbor guy. He was purebred. As a kid, that was my first, second job. My first one was a dairy farmer, and I hated them things. It was them old Holstein cattle, and it was in a mud hole, creek bottoms, and stripped the old mastitis out of their bag. They'd bruise their bags and stuff in that mud. I hated it. And he was an oil, back then, a millionaire, back when a millionaire was lots and lots of money. And I got to, he knew I took a liking to cows. He got me started. And I've had them about ever since. That's how I got to messing with the cattle. Loved them. Loved the beef cattle, hate the dairy cow still to this day. And do not like cream. Like a little milk now and then, but I don't want nothing to do with cream, period.
I've got to have cream in my coffee every day. I almost turned my coffee white. But I tell you what, though, if you're a dairy farmer, man, I mean, you every day, every morning, whatever time,
I've got within 5 miles of me, I got two different. Both of them's automated. One family. It's a family operation with Central American Helpers.
Mm-hmm.
They milk 3,000 year round, 3,000 head per day. And then my other neighbor's a young guy. He's got it's all robotic milking, and he milks about 200, and does it always. Well, he's got, bless his heart, he's got three children. He's got a boy and two girls, and they work. I kind of get on him every now and then. I said, "You're going to starve them kids out, or you're working them too hard, too young." But they're good kids, and they work like little dogs. Yeah. I don't want no cream.
That's a little coffee with my cream. A spoonful of honey, and I don't know. I probably put that much cream in it, really. Filling it up. But yeah, I like my cream. And I came from the Bunners, are coffee drinking bunch of fools. I'm gonna tell you. We went through pictures, I don't know, 3 weeks ago when I went to see my parents. We were digging through old pictures, and everything centers around coffee. Everybody's got coffee cups in their hand, all of them,
Are your folks still in Florida?
No, that my folks, they're in Mooresville, North Carolina.
Mooresville.
Yep. His last church he was a pastor. Last church he took was in North Carolina. He moved from Florida to North Carolina. So my brother and sister are in North Carolina. And I'm up here, but Amy, we live in her mom's old home place. It was built in 1900. So
yeah, Lee, I can use some of that Death Wish if you want to send me a cup.
What was that?
Lee said JW needs some of that Death Wish coffee.
Oh.
That's Mr. Quimby. He loaded me up. I was down there, 2 years ago with Joy when we stayed at your place.
Yeah,
we left. I sat there with Lee Quimby, we went over to his place. Sauceman was with me, and we went over to his place that evening. I don't know, about dark, 6, 7 o'clock. We decided to go and drive up the road a ways. He had me so wound up on that Death Wish coffee that I drove straight through all the way, all the way back to Yankee Land.
Landed in Illinois, huh?
Yep.
Flat ground.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, instant. I had never had that. I do Folgers, but not instant.
I remember that mess when I was a kid. I didn't like that.
Back when I was working in New York, I was living in New Jersey, and on one job, and I'd take the bus. I'd come through. I can't remember Lincoln or Holland Tunnel. But when we come out on the New Jersey side, there's a big coffee plant there. And I didn't care how full you thought you were eating on snacks or whatever before you rode home. When you come out of that tunnel and you started smelling that coffee plant, that old stomach go to growling. You start getting hungry again.
You got a question there, Joy, about your cooler, your Coke cooler.
Let's see.
They're popping up so quick. It's back here. I don't know. Little ways now.
Well, it's pretty easy. I don't know if you can see it or not. Y'all don't pay no attention to the rest of my mess. Let's see. Let me get that down.
Yeah. I've been looking
You
for
see
one of
that
those.
heat element sitting in the bottom? All I did was buy, it's probably a 15-foot cord, and cut the female plug off the end of it, tied it into a box with that keyless receptacle on there, and it goes into, if you can see it, it's sitting right there, a little controller, and it's plugged into that. I used to have it stuck to the wall and it come unglued. That controller just controls that heating element. I got it. It's set at 90 degrees. And it just runs, the cord just runs through the bottom of the door. You can get fancy and drill holes and come in the back. That's all I did. I might do a video on that one day. Hadn't done one in a while. Hope that helped.
Yeah, I'd look for one of those, and I saw one on one of these 100-mile sales we go on, yard sales and all.
Yeah.
And I went up the road and went to another yard sale, came back, and it was gone. So I should have turned around right then.
Yeah.
So it had $100 price tag on it.
This one is actually in storage. It was in my son's store and it broke, and they had 3 or 4 people come look at it and said, we got to do this, got to replace it or whatever. And it sat there broke for like 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I said something about, I need that thing in my honey house. He said, there it is. He said, take it whenever you want it. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll take it. He said, they ain't gonna come get it. I said, I'll take it. And if they call and say they want to pick it up, tell them it's in your daddy's storage and there's a fee to get it removed. I own a storage facility. But yeah, Brad, somewhere in there, not far from Brad, uh, Cajun Brad, uh, there's a coke plant down there. They got them sitting all in a lay down yard out there.
Yeah.
They tear up, they just toss them.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of these boxes probably started going out when all the refrigerants were changing over, and they wasn't going to make no repairs on these older ones like that. They just buy new ones with the new compressors and everything in them.
I just like that you can see inside of it, and you know
Yeah.
what you've got in there, and you know, because I did a refrigerator and I can't see inside of it. You know,
This is a freezer. It's set up the same way, and I actually got two elements in it. If I want to melt wax, I got two elements in it, and I can turn it up and melt that wax and let it drip in a pan.
huh. Mine's still, the refrigerator still works if I want it to. So
Yeah.
I could, if I wanted to make cream honey, I could put my cream honey in there and set that ink, you know, that ink, ink bird, yeah, and let it turn the, you know, refrigerator on and off to the right temperature. So, but I haven't done that yet. But I do have my seed. I got it from that guy. I don't know which way to point. That way, him.
Yeah.
I got it. Yep, in Missouri. That first year, I took it. I still have it. So.
Oh, you may be in trouble there, old buddy.
Why?
Oh, it's hard to tell
Just
what I put in that. I had that set up.
Remind it or let anybody know. Y'all still there?
I'm right here.
Yeah.
I said it earlier today, but we're gonna give this brush away, or a brush like this one away tonight. A few minutes later, and it's gonna be coming from this company right here, Overflow Honey Company. They're kind of below Jackson, Mississippi, and it'll be coming from them. I'm buying it from them, but they're gonna ship it to whoever wins tonight. If I can get the wheel to work right for me this time.
You say below Jackson,
Yeah.
When I used to have the cattle pretty strong, I also had some cutting horses. We go around the country, different places, mess with those horses. Got snowed in twice in my life. Or iced in or snowed in, both times in the South. And that one time in Nashville, Tennessee, and one time in Jackson, Mississippi. We sat there 3 days. Ice storm come through down there, and we couldn't get up. We couldn't get up the interstate, afraid to.
They actually in Florence, Mississippi, on 49 south of Jackson.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to come on here and help us out.
I'd like for Brian to come on. I got some questions I need to ask him from Flower Street, Brian.
Is he in here? He slipped by me. If he's in here, I didn't.
He's in here.
Oh well, hey Brian. I see him now.
At least he was.
We got both Russells, northern and southern. I do see them.
Yeah.
Randy, of course, Randy was on early.
Russell and Coop.
Mr. Quimby, what you been up to? You haven't been checking in with me very regular.
I'd like to see him come in and talk a little while. He ain't been on one in a long time that I know of.
Get both of you guys, both of you wearing those. I'm not going to tell you what I call them, those hats you guys wear.
Shut up.
I don't call them by their proper name, so We won't go there.
Kathy said her granddaughter starts up here in Lynchburg at Liberty, and next week. And I told her, I said, I don't know if she saw it. I said, thanks for warning me. That means, I don't even know how many students there are now. I think it's over 30,000 or more. Like, stay away from Lynchburg. Everything gets crowded. Thanks for the warning. But
I ever get my bee work caught up, Clay, I may show up on your doorstep one of these days with my hand out.
Yeah.
Caught up. Does those two words, even phrases, go together?
Well, I used to get caught up every now and then, had time to do a little fishing. I haven't even had time to get out and do any fishing this year, and that's pretty rare for me.
Yeah. I sure would like to go in the fall, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I had a couple guys come through from Tennessee and bought honey off of me. And they were on their way to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Told me the name of the town if I could remember. He's supposed to send me a pen to put in my phone. He said they're from Tennessee and they'd fish down there in Mississippi and all those big Sardis and Enid and all those big crappie lakes, big name. And he said there's a small lake in the UP of Michigan, just about 10 miles from Lake Superior. And they had pictures of it. I mean, they had some nice, the biggest bunch of big crappie you ever seen. So if I ever get caught up, I'm going to hit that. Maybe not make it this year. Be cold weather before I get caught up.
Yeah, I'm a long ways away now. I'm way behind.
Yeah.
But
So Clay, do you know what that is?
Looked like a shoe spoon in this direction.
Turn it around.
I've had this for about 40 plus years. This was a Christmas present to me.
I can't read it, but I get it. I know what it is.
Bald-headed man's hairbrush.
Yeah, there you go. I have to put my glasses.
Hold it in the middle.
Hey, I have to put these on and get to see that. I saw it. You got it close enough. Yeah.
Nah, I don't. I've been to Wise quite a bit. You could walk from boat to boat down there in the spring. I used to fish down there some, Mark.
Yeah, I want to go. I got to get everything else done first.
Well,
I used to just let everything go and go fish. But if I go one time, I'm going to go again and again and again because I get the fever bad. I love it.
Hey, Joey. That looks like my twin over there.
A little bit. Had glasses and all, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think he had your goatee, did he? I guess that's what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to get in those bees. I couldn't stand it anymore today. But I tell you what, it was so humid here. It wasn't but 85 degrees, but it felt like 96. And the humidity is just awful.
Yeah.
And
our humidity was low a lot here lately.
Yeah.
That's kind of unusual for down here.
Amy was holding the ladder, and I'm up there, and she had a cat. All of a sudden the ladder started shaking, and I'm like, "What are you doing down there?" I'm all the way up 24 feet up, And I'm like, what are you doing? And the cat was nipping at her ankles and stuff, wanting her to play with it. I was like, you can't be doing that. You can let go of the ladder. I don't have all the nerve I used to have. So I had
Or
to
the
be careful.
flexibility either, you know.
What was that?
Or the flexibility either.
No. I got a problem getting close to the ladder anymore with that right here in the middle. That's half my problem.
Mm-hmm.
Get that out of the way. It'd be a little bit better. A little easier to climb too.
Yeah, I kind of familiar with that feeling myself.
But I think I'm ready for rain if it comes tomorrow, like they're saying. So see what happens.
All right, Lee. All right.
See you later, Quimby.
Okay.
Well,
There's Brian.
I guess you could.
And Matt. That's
Nice.
double.
No trouble.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Brian. JW, Clay, Joey, how are you guys?
All right.
Great.
How are you?
Doing good. I had a little old man nap there about 5:30. So,
Well, that's good. That's the
Couple
best
thoughts.
kind.
yeah.
Matt, I saw you, JW stunt double. I saw that first. I thought that was Tom coming in.
No, Tom's not that cool.
Good.
Yeah, it was hot today. It got up, I don't know, it was in the mid-90s, and I worked some bees and boxes and did some feeding to some late nukes, and that was about all she wrote.
Weren't you a little bit lost? You didn't get in any beehives, did you?
Yeah, I did. Well, I'm doing a test run on about 25 solstice queens, raising them solely with fondant through this dearth through the summer period, and also comparing it to a thin sugar water feed only. And so I went and fed them, and yeah,
Just
that's
want
about
you
it.
to know, you didn't listen to the old master. You didn't keep that hive tool in your hand the whole time, apparently, because guess what? I've got a new hive tool.
I lose that thing. I did remember that I lost my booby, my little sippy cup with Brian and Todd's sticker on it, so everyone knows it's gonna be.
I'm using it for latrine.
I figured it'll be washed before I put a Pepsi Cola in, and I can tell you that.
Well, that's RTX down there. He's out in the bee yard. Oh, that's Zavada. Oh, I thought that was RTX.
Man.
Don't make him leave, JW.
Well, no, don't make him leave. I got some questions for him.
Yeah, go for it, Clay. I got a label jar, so I'm working while
Okay.
I'm listening, but go for it.
So I've got an out yard that I get to start next year. Do you have any advice for starting with the out yard? You know what I mean.
What are your
Do's and don'ts.
concerns about the out yard? Do you have any concerns in particular about the out yard?
No, not really. I'm going to have to put up a fence.
Okay.
Plenty of property, 40 acres, mountains on both sides, plenty of trees, plenty of lanternflies. But no concerns. Is there anything you would do if you were me?
Yeah. So when I try out a new yard, I'm also trying out the yard owner. So I'm not sure what your relationship is with this owner already. Sometimes I'll put just a couple of colonies on a yard just to feel out the situation before I really commit to that yard. So I'm not sure if that pertains to your situation or not. Sometimes I'll gradually build a yard if I'm not sure what the forage potential is going to be like in that area. Sounds like you have a really large piece of land there, so that's probably not as big a concern as you would have in other places. The other thing to think about is, I don't know if you have much experience with just out yards in particular.
No.
Paying attention to like spending time in the driveway, looking at your truck and really thinking about the work you're going to do and do I have everything I need, and having consistent, like if everything's the same, if you bring out a couple of extra inner covers, a couple of extra this and that, they're going to apply to every single colony. But if you've got mix and match supplies, that can be a problem too. Sometimes I'll even put a dummy hive up as a supplies hive. So all my frame feeders will get stored in there if I want to put an extra smoker in there or hive tool or something like that. And it just looks like another hive. It just doesn't have bees in it. It just has extra equipment or whatever there as well. Some people who are concerned about biosecurity will make sure that out yard has its own hive tools, so you're not going back and forth from yard to yard, different hive tools, that kind of thing. I'm not sure how big a concern that is for you. Matt, you have different yards. What else do you have to add?
I would let it
Joey,
rain.
you did too.
I would let it rain cats and dogs and have the ground is saturated in places that you know, and then I would go test your access. You gotta figure you gotta get in there when you gotta get in there. You don't want to, like a low water bridge, for instance. I'm just throwing things out there.
Right.
Even some fields, you know, getting up, you know, unless the ground's frozen, you know, when it's getting real mushy after a big winter snowstorm and it's melted off. Things like that, you know, if you got to get to the colony late winter, early spring, you know, when they're about on the starving level, worst case scenario, let's say, you want to be able to make sure that you can get there. The other thing, like Brian started off with, you got to have almost feelers, kind of, you know, when you're talking to the people about their bees and their interest level and kind of their expectations, where they potentially interested in bees to the point where they would want to keep bees maybe someday, to where maybe they'd be slowing you down on their inspections. You know, like for instance, I have a yard where I guess I volunteered to have. We have a kid's bee suit, a full suit. So I had his 6-year-old son up there, and he's super fascinated. You know, putting his hands down by the entrances, having bees crawl on him. But you know, he also wanted to come back several more times, and it got to be where I was doing splits or making nukes or, you know, setting up builders. And it just got to be not a hindrance, but, you know, at the same time, you're don't let so much rope out that you're going to hang yourself on time. So with me in our yards, we have 6 out yards, and I got to be in and out real quick. I could come at midnight. I could come at 3 a.m., 3 p.m. I don't have to call or text. That's just one of my understandings, you know, with the owners. So.
Yeah, they're pretty good people.
Yeah,
they're from West Virginia originally. I don't know. I can't remember how long they said they've been there. The main reason he wants bees on his property is for pollination of his garden and his fruit trees, and he does not use any insecticide. It's all, everything he does is natural. So
from that right there, that would not be a red flag. I think that would be a client that I'd want to entertain. You know, and like Brian was saying, you know, throw some hives out there and just kind of see how they do. And if they do all right, you know, increase it next season or what have you. Kind of feel it out.
Yeah,
not every area is created equal. I mean, we have some yards that are on a garden preserve. I mean, beautiful wildflowers, native forbs. People come there for their master gardeners. And last year was a horrible year. We made almost next to nothing, and this year we made about $1.50 off of just that out yard. So you got to give it a couple of years too.
I was going to add that you can't judge an area by 1 year. I have a new yard, that Roxborough yard. I've got 12 hives there. Not one of them made any honey, but this is not the year to judge that, just because of the terrible drought we've had. If they're not going to make honey, this is the year they're not going to make honey. So it does take a couple of years for sure to really get a good sense of what that area is like.
My plan was to put probably 10 on there, And
Here's my question to you, Clay. Why do you want an out yard?
because I can't depend on this one, right?
Yeah.
He is a little bit north and west of me,
Yeah.
and I drove by that area because it's beautiful. For one thing, that whole area. It's called 151 Highway 151. It's beautiful in that area, and he is surrounded by tulip poplar, black locust, sourwood. I mean, you name it. It's all there, and it's older, big woods. You know, the big trees that really produce a lot of tulip poplar. When I was driving through there in the spring, they had black locust blooming through there like crazy, and over here everything got bit, and that's why.
Yeah,
Plus,
no, that's a really good reason. If honey is a goal for you, having hives in different locations, having all your eggs not in one basket kind of thing. So if one yard does well and what another yard doesn't, you can kind of work that too. You can even manage your supers if you figure that out, where that better yard ends up getting more of your supers than the not as good yard.
Right.
Yeah, you'll end up with some a little bit different tasting honey too.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing the difference even a mile can make in an apiary in their in their forage. All of our hives, as far as yards, there's 6 total yards, but they're all within about a 10-mile radius in that valley. So the forage is very similar, but every single yard tastes different. And I'm extracting on a small scale, smaller extractor, so I'm able basically to spin a super at a time, almost labeled buckets. Every it's just a 9-frame Wilco, and I'm smoking.
That's what I have.
The bearings on that puppy, but she's getting it done. So
I wish I had 2 of those. I like that better than the 18. Other than if some reason or another I'll have to spin out deeps, I'd rather have that 18 because then you spin. I don't blow out the frames as bad as I do when you're running the 3. So
I've definitely
I like to do the same thing, Matt. I love to separate and see what I've got from each super.
Yeah.
And I try to keep all that together. And
the way we'll extract basically is one super at a time, and I'll take a taste of it as it's coming out, but it's labeled for that yard, either earlier spring or later spring, light, dark, what have you, and
I do the same.
It works for us,
Yeah, except I don't have what do you have now? 200.
So I have no business with a 9-frame extractor. I can tell you that. We're upward. Last count was probably about 250-ish. I don't know.
Great.
I've done combines, and a lot of those, at least 75 of those, at least are, queens less than 2 months old. From May on, May, June, July. We did 5 grafting rounds this year. Really just for replacement for some early spring and our honey production for next year. So we got that out of the way while in the flow, and we've been blessed. We haven't really had to feed except for these the fondant trials and what I'm feeding on these latest nukes. So they need it. I mean, they're at the end of the flow, and to get them up into a single by the end of the season is going to be feed from here on for sure.
Cool.
But yeah, we had an awesome year. Honestly, completely blessed. We're sitting about 6,800 pounds right now. So just finished our 10th drum, about 114 buckets, I think, in total. It's worn me out. The last 3 weeks has been a lot of work, but I'm lucky to get it, blessed, and I put in the hard work at the right time, and fortunately reaping the rewards of that. It's just a gamble and total luck, but it worked out.
You strictly just produce honey, right, and sell bees, right?
Yeah, I mean,
no candles, no,
it's all
cream
just
honey,
Just runny honey. Yep. Just honey and honey nukes and queens primarily.
Yeah. And queens. That's right.
So we raise all our own queens and try to be as sustainable as possible all the way around. From you name it, we're trying. If we can, we're going to make it and try and produce it.
How many pounds can you move, or do you move a year?
Well,
of
this
honey,
is
of honey.
Yeah, I don't know. I've only been selling honey. This is we started in 23. So in theory, it's our fourth season, I guess. The first year, I guess, if you want to call that a true season. But yeah, that's somewhere pretty close to that range, honestly. Next year we'll, I don't think we could double that, but I'm going to probably try for it. So to give you an idea, I have 100 queen excluders to the operation, so I didn't use queen excluders the first couple of years. And at Navi this past time, I got a 50 count, went through those saw that they were actually storing nectar above a queen excluder. So I ordered 50 more, and I don't think I put on 15 of them. So that 6,800 pounds is probably off of, I don't know, 80-ish, 85 colonies.
Okay.
To give an idea. So
yeah,
we left a lot of honey back. Our second deep, almost on every colony was just packed full of honey. Some of it, they would come up into a single frame of brood, and you could have pulled 3 or 4 frames out of that top box. But like I said, we haven't had to feed, so I chose to leave it back.
Do you see what Sandy said?
It popped up. Yeah, she does.
More.
She has her work cut out for her, So we're in that territory of harvest. You're able to entertain other offers, that you wouldn't otherwise even think about. So the first couple of years, I was just solely thinking about $1 per ounce. I wanted to sell it an ounce, $1 an ounce, basically, was my goal. Sometimes we would come close. Sometimes we would definitely do that. Sometimes we wouldn't, but it was kind of finding that sweet spot and where, you could tolerate having that much honey around. I can tell you 10 drums takes up a fair amount of room for the size of storage capacity that I have, on top of a couple hundred supers. And, you name it, I've pretty much taken over our breezeway, our garage, our outdoor patio. So
do you have means of stacking your drums? Or no?
I'm thinking about that right now. They're not stacked, but I don't have any heavy equipment, a forklift or a bobcat, anything like that. So it would be by pumping it or having a drain on it. But in the event that something were to set up, I would want it to be worked out to where it had some sort of heating source underneath it, to where I could wrap it, so heat it from below and around, whether it be a blanket or a barrel warmer.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, the thing for you have Alicia there. She is one heck of a marketing genius, I think. I pay attention to all her little setups and all her pictures of the bridal showers or baby.
She works hard at it. Yeah, she definitely works hard at it.
Good at that.
She has.
What, Brian or anybody, any of you, do you worry about a contract or anything like that? With
her and what she's expecting to get paid.
Well, that's that piece of paper that's a legal binding document you're talking about there with the state. No, I'm just talking about with an out yard person or whatever. I mean, this guy seems fine. I mean, no problem. I carry liability insurance, whether I have an out yard or selling my honey. I have all that. So
it's funny. It's fun. At least on my experience, and Brian's got a lot more than mine. I'll just say really quickly, I had one written contract that was signed with a winery, local winery. And I actually, the first time I reached out to Brian with a phone call and questions about kind of what you're asking with an out yard, and it was by a contract basis. So it was a maintenance, a management with 3 hives, and how much, or basically what I should include and kind of the verbiage of it. And he was extremely helpful. And that's the only time that he, obviously for the management of those hives after a year and the sugar and everything else, the mite treatments, whatever. I never got paid for it. So all my handshake deals with all the farmers, smooth as heck. You just show up with a couple jars of honey from time to time, and no problems whatsoever. The person I had on contract stiffed me, and I could fight it, but it's not worth my time. I drive by and probably give him the bird from time to time, but what can you do? He'll get what's coming to him. He took advantage of me, and
that's right. Yeah,
I don't have to get even. It'll come back.
All right, let's do this right quick.
Okay,
If anybody's in here that don't know, we're gonna do a little brush. It's a small giveaway. I'm buying it from a company called Overflow from below Jackson, Mississippi. That's where it'd be coming from. And I'm sorry, guys, this is gonna have to be in the lower 48, as they call it, because I don't know much about how to get it out to the U.S. without paying way more than it's worth. But let's see. I'm posting the hashtag overflow. If y'all will, go ahead. Anybody want to say, go ahead and do that, and we'll continue our talk for a little while, and then we'll make the drawing. All right. Back to where we were.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I have one contract that's like a formal contract, and that's with the solar farm. They're like a big corporate company, so that's appropriate, I think, in that situation. And there's, that's a significant financial exchange. So again, appropriate for that situation. I have another guy who showed up with a contract that was like a paragraph typed out, and like we're talking about it. And like the contract was written for 4 colonies. He wanted 10% of the honey. We're talking it through. And I'm like, do you want to make these changes on the contract? And he's like, yeah, whatever. So you could tell it wasn't a real serious deal for him. And again, I was feeling the guy out. He was super casual about it. So I'm like crossing stuff out for him and adding things to it, that kind of thing. But I could tell he didn't care. Everything else is a handshake deal.
Okay.
And that's the kind of thing, even though that contract says I give him 10% of the honey, every year I just give him a case of pints because the math is easy that way. Right. And he's ecstatic every year with a case of pints. So, yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, he doesn't even want any honey, but I said, oh, you're going to get honey for this. He gave me a bag of peaches that day. Nice. Oh, my goodness. You're talking about some good peaches. Oh, man. They were great. So, but, yeah, good. They're good people. So I feel comfortable about the whole thing. They showed me a few spots where I could, put my bees. And I was trying to put them further away from their house, not too close. In fact, they're probably about the same distance as I have my furthest hives, probably 500 yards from the house. So, that's all I was worried about. They do have a few dogs and stuff, but yeah, I'm going to put up an electric fence.
That'll only take one time.
Yeah,
ask JW about Boz.
Yeah,
you didn't get too close to the bee yard. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
so I have heard, Clay. I have heard though that Alicia did make Matt sign a prenup. I did hear that. Yeah.
So you're saying Matt also married up?
Yes. Yeah.
Because Joey says he married up.
So
we all look at. Let's face it, we all did.
Yes, I was getting ready to say that. I don't know about JW.
There's two things I've always said. I married up, and I also, everybody says, you robbed a cradle, man. I said, yeah, I raised her like I wanted her.
That's good too.
That is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alicia teased me from time to time. I think I don't know if it's 4 or 5 years older, but if you go back and I'm not, I don't know, I'll just stop there. But at certain ages of your life, she's comparing 18 to 13 or 12 or something like that, and it just doesn't sound right. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's, I think 5 years difference is where we're at.
Yeah. What I had people used to come to me. This was when we were in our 20s, and said, "Man, you robbed a cradle." I said, "What are you talking about? She's 10 months older than me. She just looked younger. I just look old."
He tells me all the time, "You got bait and switched."
Yeah, I saw it on here. Bait and switch.
How did she put it on there?
Yeah, she posted it.
See the chat.
Yeah, I happened to see it. So, well, I thank you guys. I wanted to make sure. I mean, I know the biggest part of is not wanting to have to turn around and come all the way back home to get something.
That's another thing too. Yeah. Keep in mind, how many colonies were you thinking about taking there?
Just 10. I say just 10, but
yeah,
10.
I would take whatever you feel comfortable taking there with the landowner situation to make it worth your while.
Yeah,
on that travel, because let's say they do really well there, you could have 10 production hives versus 2 or 3 or 4 just feeling it out, so
right,
you could, it might be worth your time to do whatever number you feel comfortable with versus just 1 or 2 or 3 hives.
I just 10 is probably the number in my mind, and he said I can put as many as I want. He doesn't care. Mm-hmm. He just wants pollinators. So that's his main goal. So I just was trying to feel that out. I feel like 10 is worth my while. I mean, I go by there all the time anyway, because we got our antique booth in that direction. So
perfect. Make a circle route, if you can, for your yards.
Yeah. Yeah, I can go by and do a quick inspection, right? Not have to deep dive, but just make sure everything's okay. I'll probably put a trail camera up also, just to make sure I don't have any teddy bears messing around with anything.
Mm-hmm.
And Clay, I don't know what your documentation system looks like, but I found it's helpful for me to have, like, next time if I have a hive that needs something in particular, I'm writing that down. Yeah. And that's how it usually goes for me too. It works better in theory than in practice, because half the time I write it down and then I never check my notes before I go out there. And then I get there and then I realize what I needed and all that good stuff. But that can be a way to help you remember what you need. But the other thing is, you mentioned you go by there all the time. If it's a place that's not as part of your regular route, sometimes you have to change your management practices, like making splits. It can be hard to make splits and then go back 4 days later and cut back queen cells if that's not part of your regular driving route. If it's in the opposite direction of everything else, certain management practices like that can be a little bit harder to do.
Okay. Yeah, that's good advice. I mean, most of my notes are on top of the hives, and they get switched around, and
So one thing I do that I have been really effective at the end of work in a yard, I'll pull out my phone and walk through that yard and videotape it and just kind of talk to myself.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. That way, that's a great way.
Lot. That helps a lot. I do that.
That's our note taking.
That's what got me into doing videos. I started recording what I just did, and it went from there to now.
And I actually do that with the management colonies that I do. And then I just send the people that video. Instead of typing out this long text, colony 1, colony 2, colony 3, I'll just do the video and then, and just forward it to them. Because I'll take a minute, walk through the yard and talk through, and they get a full report out. And they feel really a part of what's going on too, because they're like walking the yard with me.
That's pretty good. Awesome. That's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. Is everybody in the giveaway? If you're not in the giveaway, we're fixing to do it. We got 39 entries right now. Hashtag overflow for the brush.
I just lose it. I'm as bad about misplacing brushes as I am hive tools.
Yep, I've done that too.
Still
I
use
do
that turkey
appreciate that, Matt and Brian. It's been a burning question in my mind, and I just want to, try to do the right thing. I'm thinking about putting them over there maybe in February, because things start happening, pretty soon.
So our out yards too, we're just setting up for honey production. It's not a split, nothing that we got to babysit really. If in preference, nothing that we even have to feed. I mean, they're April 1st, they're coming down to 4 frames of brood, and that's what they get. Another box, a lot of foundation, and off they go. With weekly maintenance, but just peeking at them really.
Yeah.
But set up for production, not something where you'd have to cut cells if you don't have to.
All right, let me see if I can add this thing to the stage. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
All right. Everybody in? Let's see what happens.
Oh, wait just a minute.
Oh.
All
Kathy.
right.
All right, Kathy. Tell George that's your brush.
All right, I'm gonna put my email in here where you can send me your mailing information. And make sure I got it right. Yep, that's it. Send it to that one. Now, if anybody wants to contact me, you're going to have to let me know you send anything to that email because I do not monitor that email. It's strictly for, I bet I get 200 emails a day on that Yahoo address.
I do too.
All right, that was fun.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all get back at it. Y'all were doing a good job.
I can't get over how light it still is at Brian's house.
Well, the sun's gone down, but it's still like there's still light, and that's to the west. So here's our sunset, and I'm just finishing packing up the truck. See, all you can see is the bright light.
That's a lot of light. Yeah.
Yeah. So here, I'll turn it the other way. This is facing east, so less bright that way.
Yeah, you get color there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. But it's what, 7:48? Within a half an hour, it'll be dark. And then I'm packing up the truck. I'm pretty ready. Man, let me tell you, one nice thing about having markets back to back is the truck is kind of packed up already. So when I get home from the Saturday market, I pull out some stuff. I pull out the crate with the cash box, and that's also got our lotion bars in. So I stock the lotion bars. I pull out the creamed honey. I restock that. But for the most part, everything stays in the truck. Gets pretty easy that way. So I'm just unloading the truck once and then loading it up once. So it's really nice. And then Cam usually does our Sunday market, but I'm giving him the day off tomorrow. So I'm going up to Lafayette. I think Eric's going to hang out with me a little bit. Eric's the guy who lives up in Erie, which is near that Lafayette market that we have on Sunday.
He's the other funny guy.
Yeah.
He's a blast on the chats. I met him at Nobby.
I didn't get a chance to meet him there.
Yeah.
How is Matt? Maybe this is a question for you, maybe for Alicia. How have your markets been this year? What's the economy look like on that market level?
We actually just started doing some farmers markets, or I should say, Alicia has. So there's two
Yeah.
farmers markets that we're doing each week, and the market I would say is kind of slowed down a little bit. I think people are kind of watching. There's good sales, and then it kind of dies off, and then it's just kind of like crickets. And then all of a sudden, a nice order comes through. It's not as consistent, as you might hope for, but I guess it's all area dependent and kind of the type of market it is. Farmers markets are a little for us in our experience anyway. They don't bring like what a festival would bring, or kind of
Yeah.
a little bit. People kind of they get their honey and they don't come back for a week or two, or what have you. But
It's a trade-off. There's those different types of events. You're absolutely right.
Mhm.
Those festivals, you get those one-off customers that you see just
Mhm.
once, and a
Yep.
lot of them in a
Yep.
short period of time. At a
Yep.
farmer's market, especially for honey, people aren't buying honey every single week. So there's an overlap. But what you're
Mhm.
doing at a farmer's market is you're building loyal customers that you don't
Yep.
build at a festival. So it's a trade-off. And for us, there's a rhythm. The first month of the season and the last month of the season are awesome. And we figured out there's certain days that are kind of slow, like 4th of July, always a slow
Mhm.
weekend because so many people are going up and traveling and doing that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So there's definitely a rhythm to the season. But one of the things I like about farmers markets, I was driving home today and it started raining. All of the weather, a lot of the weather we get here in Colorado are afternoon storms. So the night markets often get just stormed on, rained on. We're usually done and packed up by the time anything starts happening weather-wise. So it's a trade-off. You get up early in the morning, but I'm sure you guys all know this. The older you get, the earlier you tend to get up in the morning. So I am of that age where getting up at 5 isn't really a big deal so much.
Mhm.
I wake up at 5 o'clock automatically.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
see
can go to
Alicia
bed
saying,
and I still wake up at 5.
Talking about the economy. I know that's what we're talking about. Really, um, we're doing good. I mean, as far as like, it's not really antiques. It's vintage and it's resales. What it is. We do have antiques, but the sales are still strong, and my honey sales there are strong,
mm,
and starting to move the lanternfly honey. Um, all it took was me to print uh, a printout from Penn State and put there. People have asked for it. That just allows them to see it.
yeah,
And I've been trying to educate myself as much as I can. And what's her name? Oh, now I forgot her name. Is it Robin Underwood? That it?
yes, yep,
Yeah.
at Penn State.
Yes. There you go. And so I've watched her interview with Fred Dunn. I watched the other guy. I can't pronounce his name. I watched him today, um, trying to understand that he's from Turkey and trying to understand his English. I may have to go back and watch it again. But she says it is the lanternfly is what they're collecting is pee, not poo, but pee.
Okay.
So they sit there and just tap into the tree of heaven or black walnuts, different soft trees, maples, and they tap into that and they just keep bringing it in and letting it out, bringing it in and letting it out, and that's how the bees collect so much of it.
Hmm.
Um, and that's what I was shocked about that because I always heard poo.
Yeah. I
So
had a
or
guy come up to my booth
excretions.
today asking me about, yeah, yeah. He was asking about the medicinal qualities of honey, but specifically had I heard it being good for dementia. and I have never heard that. Have you guys?
Yes.
I think I have.
And that if you go and listen to Robin's
That was a
thing.
joke. I think I have. Never mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mess up your
No.
joke. Hey,
I think I have really. Seriously, I
just
did
got
hear
a-
something like that.
I just got a little educated, so and I heard about that. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of things honey are good for, and taking it, but they say to take it at night before you go to bed.
Okay.
Don't brush your teeth, anything. Let it sit in your mouth, and then slowly take it in. They say it even builds enamel on your teeth. Also, sounds crazy, but that's what they're talking about. I'm watching Joey laugh up there, so
I'm laughing at something in the chat.
oh, I know you are. It's making me want to look, but there's so many things that honey is good for, and they are whatever the guy's name from Turkey. He also said that like buckwheat is full of antioxidants
Okay.
versus the lanternfly honey. It's full of antimicrobials. So there's a difference in all our honeys, and of course the lanternfly, it can be lighter to very, very dark, and that's just how much lanternfly is in it,
So Brian, it just popped in my head after the Clay was talking. There's actually a memory care, or I guess you call it memory care, but it's basically where it's in town. It's an old judge's house that they made into a final final home, for certain people at the end of either dementia or Alzheimer's, eventually to where they need full-time care and at the end of life stages in that way. And we took them a bottle of honey or two just as a thank you. We actually built off our sawmill. We cut a white oak table and made a slab table for them, and wanted to, other than it looked really cool, we wanted a couple of bottles of honey as a picture, with the table. And and they gave those samples to some of the people in there. And one of the ladies immediately started talking about memories of something like that. So I don't know if it's necessarily the honey as much as kind of like a taste memory, maybe being so strong, whereas other parts of her may have been lost, and it just brought her back to talking about a time, be like with her grandpa or something like that. I don't know the specifics, but it definitely perked her up that day at that time in that situation. So
I could definitely see that if you have that personal experience, that sensory experience, being able to take you back.
Yeah.
And Brian, remember you said you were putting that lanternfly on your nose?
Yeah.
There's a lot of studies showing how quick that lanternfly honey heals wounds, where medicine wasn't doing it for a lot of people. Like results in 3 days,
Oh, for burn victims and everything. I mean, they definitely use it.
Yeah, whatever, they're
in hospitals.
Right.
More and more.
So, and some of it's and what is they've been talking about. I don't mean to derail this lanternfly thing, but
no, this is great.
With
Clay,
that,
keep going.
But they're talking about this lanternfly honey is so medicinal, getting it approved for medical, for hospitals to actually use it, in the hospitals like they were in the UK or wherever with the Manuka honey.
Yeah.
So
see, all I know is honey's medicinal. So if I get a cut, I put honey on it. If I get stung, sometimes I'll put honey on it. I need to learn, just like you, Clay, I need to learn more about this. Sounds like different honeys have different medical qualities. Yes. And I wonder, I know Cayman was talking about getting that, I think it's the American Apicultural Society to kind of do like a partner conference with him at the Bee Expo. Mm-hmm. That would be a great way to learn more about the medicinal qualities of honey if they have speakers there, because apitherapy is not just about bee sting therapy. It's about all of the therapeutic qualities of the beehive.
Right.
And medicinal honey would be part of that. And I think they're trying to formalize some sort of testing where you can actually get it graded as medical grade honey based on certain ways it's processed as well as certain qualities of that honey. So like hospitals can purchase from like a certified medical grade producer of honey, that kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yes. That's a lot of what they were saying. I was going to say something, and you really drug me into it, and I forgot what it was. But and he was also talking about, and then the purest form of honey is what? Comb honey.
Yeah.
Comb honey.
Yep.
And he's like, then what you have. Because it hasn't been messed with at all. Know that it didn't accidentally get overheated or whatever, left out in the car too long, or because you leave that in the car when it's hot, it's gonna disfigure it big time. And it's just, it was cool. Learned a lot. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. It's a lot to do. Like they said, root canals and stuff. They were taking propolis and putting in patients and leaving it to help heal that wound there. So, I mean, you think about what propolis is, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think last night we were talking about, if Jacob's still on here, he was talking about Indian pipe, and Charlie didn't know Indian what, but Indian pipe or ghost pipe, it's the same thing. It's just it's an actual flower. Mushroom hunters, find them, and I'll find them, and there's groups of them, and you could take and make tinctures out of that. And if Amy's having trouble sleeping at night, that's what she puts, a little bit of that under her tongue, and she's off to the races. So we've messed with the tinctures and stuff, like the Kayla girl in Virginia that was at the expo with all the different herbs and stuff. Yeah. I've done a lot of that stuff. Never thought about selling or doing any of that, but it's pretty cool to learn and all. So it's funny how all this kind of starting to come together. So anyway,
all that knowledge has been somewhat lost, and now it's just getting reinvented again, right? I mean, that's
right.
There's no doubt that everything that needs to heal us is on the land provided.
Right.
We just don't know how to get it. Yeah.
The Indians taught our people. Okay, they did. They actually taught them what weed does what and everything. And my neighbor, he walks around and he still knows some of it. He said, but why didn't I write this down? What his dad and his mom taught him, that their parents learned from Indians. Yeah. So, it's out there. It's out there.
We're gonna get this chat going all night, starting topics like this.
pulling up the weeds, right? Or
it's been a while since we had one, huh?
Yeah. Well,
I want to circle it back though. Is anyone else noticing Matt's honey warmer behind him? Look at that. Is that pretty? Look how well it almost looks like one of those honey dispensers, or like a coin op dispenser with the coils. You put your
I just cleaned the glass front doors on it today.
Oh,
so that's not a warmer. Those are just shelves. Is that right?
It's just a bookshelf.
Oh, see, I thought that was a honey warmer. Looks nice. Look how organized that is. Yeah, mine's like all shoved together because there's no room.
That's not my doing. You could ask JW what the inside of my truck looks like. It's not.
Yeah. Like the inside of mine.
Yeah.
And all my buildings. That's the problem. See, you just have honey stuff everywhere. I've got honey stuff, yard sale stuff, in all
Yeah.
the buildings. It's
I
all
think
mixed
if,
together
I
now.
think if I cleaned my truck out, I'd find hive tools, bee brushes,
Yeah.
honeybee gone,
Yeah.
all kind of stuff, cameras.
Yeah. I
It
still have
was
I got grafting bars and cell cups spilled. Mark Miller gave me a quart jar full of JZBZ queen cell cups, and I know that they spilled off. I used half of them, and the other parts spilled off. I mean, and they're all back there. I need a day off, is what I need, but we're
yeah,
almost
you
there.
do.
Amber
all
noticed the coffee grinder. Where's the coffee grinder? We got a
it's
few of
behind
them in our-
Clay. Clay has the coffee
Oh,
grinder. I see it.
Oh,
Yep, there it is.
right here.
yep.
And
Mhm.
I
all
got
this
one
over
almost.
here. I mean,
I got one
this is
just
all
like it.
Amy's. All this is Amy's stuff. She does a little bit of everything. Some of this is for
Yeah.
our business. Some of it's for her doodling. If I were to turn, which I'm not, over to the other side, it's markers and pens and
We got
like,
the same coffee grinder on our cabinet.
yeah. Check this out. See the caddy of
Wow.
markers, pencils, pen. She likes to doodle or
Yeah.
or draw and color. I think that's how she puts up with me. That's her stress relief. I really do. Yeah, she's organized. I'm not.
Yeah.
Clay is all over.
Opposite track.
Yes. I mean, 100%. 100%. So, anyway. But yeah, I bet you everybody's got what I've got in both of my vehicles right now. Bee poo.
Oh,
Bee
Mhm.
poo
yeah.
here and there. That stuff's hard to get off. So, anyway.
JW, how you doing up there, sir? You're probably worn out.
You got a man here.
I put him to sleep.
I was gonna say he texted me at 3:30 this morning. He was on his way to the honey house to go start extracting. I didn't get it until 7 or so, but oh boy, he's been working. And let me take just a second here to brag on my buddy up there in the center. Where's he at? Right up here.
No, wrong
2
way.
weeks. 2 weeks and 2 days. Let's see. He had his surgery on the Monday following. I went out there this Thursday. And I tell you what, you want to talk about looking in good shape and getting around a lot. But I mean, you just imagine you just had a hip replacement and probably moving pretty slow. I mean, you want to talk. I thought he was going to start juggling the soccer ball and doing a couple of field goal kicks there for a minute.
It's probably a good thing he didn't do both hips. It'd been hard to keep up with.
Yeah, I know it. Well, he chased me to the end of the driveway when I was leaving, so I knew it was time to go. I knew when my welcome's worn out. But no, he was in remarkably good condition and worked a lot harder than I was hoping he was going to. So I almost had to keep him tamed. That's why we went there, just to help out, and he did a lot of work too. So, how did your extracting go so far?
I think
Maybe
I got
that
11
right
boxes, I think, today, Matt.
Okay.
I'm doing good.
Good deal.
He had 1 million bees helping him extract some of it.
Yeah.
Whoops, I wasn't
didn't-
supposed to tell that, was I?
No, actually I did. I wore out 2 those Colorado beadbacks today, Matthew. That's my big gripe with you. You left too many bees in those hives.
Oh no
I'll
way!
tell you what,
We got
it's getting almost
got 'em
incredible. I think I'm up to 1,319,247 bees that I caught today in my beadbacks.
Who is that? The hive doctor?
I think he looks a little sweet to me.
He does look sweet in that picture.
Well, I appreciate. I don't know where to take that as a a compliment or a case for insanity, but I'm getting around pretty good considering.
It was.
I think it's
If you
awesome.
do stuff like that when you're young, you older guys, you'll have to slow down a little bit. Will you?
Well, you know, JW says that he's in pain, that he's hurting, and I knew he needed some help, and I was pleasantly surprised to see how well he was healing, and I just hope he continues and doesn't overdo it too soon, feeling better, you know what I mean, type thing.
Yeah.
So that's my only concern
I
with him.
appreciate that, and I want you everybody to know out here in radio land that this old boy here is a fine fella. He saved my bacon because I couldn't have got it out by myself. I'm telling you.
Oh, I'd be back tomorrow and do the whole thing over again.
Yeah. Not me.
It was hot.
You're your own next time, buddy.
It was hot enough there at the end. I chugged 3 waters through my veil.
Oh man.
And it wasn't enough, but I had to stop. You can't drink too much water at once, type thing. But you can imagine in that hot 3 waters out of a cooler, and you didn't even know you drank anything.
Yeah.
So
We went through the better part of 90 hives, or he did. He did all the sorting, every bit of it. My youngest son helped him, just blowing out bees and stuff like that, and gophered for him. And my grandson carried all the honey boxes to me, and I had a little old trailer there that I had hooked on my fartmobile, and I'd haul them up. And my grandson would unload them, but we had ended up, I counted them for sure, 73 honey boxes we Matt pulled and sorted and broke all those colonies, and we went through down to either a deep and a medium or a double deep, and that's quite a bit of work, and it was one hot baby, let me tell you, very much so.
And they're all, I know we kind of talked about it a little, but they're in a double deep setup. They're you're 8 frames, so there would be let's say that middle frame now is just being touched on the bottom with a little bit of brood in that, and so we left it. They're sitting. We probably left a couple 1,000 pounds of honey behind just to keep the bees, not knowing this, and making you have to get around to feed to keep them healthy. They're sitting heavy, sitting like we would want to leave ours. So hopefully that.
I want to regress on your conversation a little bit. I want to give you a testimonial on the municipal properties, and particularly with dementia. Didn't work on me.
Well, you don't like honey, so
there you go.
Yep.
There you go. You were taking gummies before you went to bed instead of honey.
I haven't had a gun. I had that one.
I know you haven't.
That was before I had the surgery. I
Yes.
I hurt 10 times worse before I had the surgery. I can tell you for those 3 weeks, and I have the 3 weeks since the surgery would be 3 weeks come Monday since I had the surgery. But it's just like walking on a cloud now compared to what I was. I couldn't stand to put any pressure on it. And it's all this guy right down here, wherever he's at.
Other way.
You're ready to come. Ready to come back to the mountain.
It all started over his place. Seriously, he and Mark Miller and myself, we got together out at Matt's, and we went to
now
eat.
you know why at that big yard I have a 4-wheeler that does all the heavy lifting. I go up and down it about 4 times a day, though. That's what keeps me young and chipper.
Yeah.
We had a good time, and I really appreciate it. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's honestly beekeeping with friends. I've learned so much by going and hanging out with, whether going down to Mark Miller's or out to JW's. I don't know, 8-10 times a year. It's almost never enough. You learn so much and make those memories, and we only have so much time every day. That's one thing bees have taught me, like how short a bee season was. And I'm thinking, holy crap, I only got 50 more of these, best case scenario. You know, I was almost upset about it. You know, just thinking about how much fun I had, and almost regretful that I found it this late in life. You know, in that sense, and it's like you don't want, like JW
You
says, you don't want to wish your life away, right? But it really
you
makes
ever
you
work
appreciate.
you ever worked in the bee yard and worked your tail off to get to that last one on the end down there, and then all of a sudden you remember, oh man, there's this one sitting over here. I need to
Oh
get
yeah,
it, and you just
yep,
don't have what it takes to get that one. You
yep,
still got to come back the next day.
yep,
I've been there,
oh,
done
yep,
that.
yep.
Yep.
Thought you was through and wasn't.
That heat will take it out of you too quicker, a whole lot quicker.
Yeah, I'm
It's
over it. Next week we're dropping back down in the 80s, almost low 80s for highs. So
yeah,
I'm hitting my girls Thursday with Formic. So
That's
yeah.
almost like a cool front, isn't it?
yeah, that's well welcomed. We'll say that.
I
We get
Started
pretty
to
started
hit
heat.
us, Matt. We had our heat wave break too. We had Wednesday night the storms started rolling in, so I didn't have it because I ordered it late. This was my bad, but my Apogard came in Friday morning, so I started running around on Friday throwing Apogard on, and I'll continue that on Monday.
Nice.
But yeah, that's that same thing. Just waiting for that weather to change. Got my honey supers off, and I can start that fall treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I started to go ahead and crank my vaporizers up today, and by the time I went through those few hives after being up on the roof or up toward the roof for a few hours today, I was spent. I just sweated out twice, and it's
Mm-hmm.
85 degrees, but the humidity makes it feel like 96. So it was
Yeah.
it was a rough day. So I
The
don't know.
problem,
Maybe
the problem too is when it gets that hot and humid, there's no breeze. I mean, it's just like calm and oh man, we couldn't buy a breeze that day on the farm pulling
yeah,
honey. I mean, it was just it's level. I mean, this is level as can be, you
yeah.
know, and no breeze. Usually it's windy out there. It'll cut right through a little windbreaker, even. You know it.
Right. Hey,
Not,
I got a question for y'all. What's your best sellers this year so far?
Lemon ginger.
Wow, that's good. That's good stuff right there.
But I mean,
Blackberry,
that's my favorite, so it's easy to sell it. It's easier to sell it when it's your favorite, you know.
Right. You push it without trying, right?
Yeah. Yep.
What's selling the best for you? I mean, I'm sure you've got black locust and
What are you
everything
talking about?
else.
The creamed honey flavored
Yeah, what's your cream honey?
blackberry.
Blackberry?
Sells the best. I've got more calls for blackberry. I've got mine cut down to 3 flavors: lemon, cinnamon, and blackberry.
What do
Lemon,
you use?
cinnamon, and blackberry? Yeah.
What do
Those are
you use
good.
for the blackberry flavor? What do you use for the blackberry flavor?
I just buy that Loran primarily, and once in a while I'll make a batch with dehydrated the berries, but the Loran works pretty good for flavoring the blackberry for me.
Hmm.
You can buy that on Amazon direct or
Yeah.
whatever.
Does that impact the honey's color like the powders do?
No.
Okay.
Well, if you got a light honey, you'll have almost pure white creamed honey. If you got some of the darker stuff, will be a kind of a beige, deep beige. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
When it sets. So I've found that the color of your honey, whether it's like I said, a light amber or dark amber, will have some effect on the color of your creamed also.
Yeah.
So
That's just what little I've done. I've just been doing it. Well, the first I done was that I had you guys a sample at
Emba. Yeah, I remember.
Emba,
Yeah.
2 winters ago.
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
I've got it
winter-
sitting in the kitchen.
winter primers.
If I remember right, you got a seed jar from Joey, didn't you?
Yep.
I'm almost positive. You had told me that you got a seed from Joey, and you weren't going to sell any of it. I asked you for a little bit, and you wouldn't do it.
You talking to me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yes.
you did. I think Joey had given you a seed at that because you pulled it out of the dinner, at the after party that maybe it was Saturday night. I don't know.
He left here with a
I
seed.
wasn't putting you on the spot. I was trying to give Joey a compliment because your cream
Yeah.
honey was excellent.
If and when I ever make cream honey, I got it from that night
Mhm.
from Mr. JW, who got the seed from Joey.
Yeah, Clay, you know what I'm talking about. It was in
Oh,
a
I know
pint.
what you're talking about. I've
It
still
was a
got
pint
it.
mason jar. Yeah.
Well, be awful careful because you know how anything I took over on that dirty side over at NBA.
Yeah.
You want to be awful careful. Like,
Well,
Hey, don't tell Todd Prater out there in Cali, but JW may or may not know I got 4 drums of that blue curl from his farm.
Oh,
So,
did you?
yeah, I know Todd was out in the bee yard smelling some blue curly, and just let him know we got 4 drums. So if he didn't end up with any, we can sell it to him.
Matt.
Yeah.
What is your best selling honey this year so far?
Just our runny honey, just our wildflower.
Well, I know, but is it your
as
your
far as our
black
best seller,
locust? Yeah, what nectar?
we just are probably just a mix, and our spring is selling a lot, but our later summer honey, or I guess you'd say summer honey from last year, some people specifically want that a little darker honey, but probably I would say probably a tie right now.
Okay.
This is our spring from this year. It's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty light.
Yeah.
You can tell. Almost looks like a watered down tea,
now my clientele as a whole, Clay, likes the darker honey overall. I get more compliments on the darker honey, which, and when I say darker honey, by my standard, it's nothing like your, like, no offense to Keith, like he's tulip poplar honey or anything like that. It's more like I'd say my darkest is like a dark amber,
There it is. Yeah.
But it's going to vary by your.
I've had some of this sitting on the shelf since this one's from December. And it finally, I've been keeping it 80 degrees in here where my honey would flow good. And it finally started settling out a little bit. You see that little ring at the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
I'll use it for seed. It's still good. All that's still good and creamy.
Hey, I want to make. I want to give a testimonial to Mr. John too, if he's still on here on these shut off alarms, bucket alarms. He saved my bacon twice a day because I was a one-man operation trying to extract and uncap and do everything at the same time, and it was. I'd run two buckets over today if it hadn't been for John's. I could assure you for his.
Yeah, those are handy.
Those are fine too, John.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he's still on here. I meant to say something earlier.
I don't know if he's still here now.
I actually won 2 in a raffle last year at our dinner that he donated. Otherwise, I would have had to buy some, but they sure came in handy. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
That's something you don't know you need till you use it. You say,
Yeah.
Right. It takes a load off your brain trying to remember to keep an eye on that bucket or drum, whatever.
I'm bad. Mine's still in the package.
Well,
I got them things laying all over this house.
Yeah.
Different sizes.
I need to have it. I don't have any pumps or anything. I just got to watch the extractor. And be careful. I do mess up though. It happens.
No, I was shot last night, Matthew. I went to bed at 7:45. My wife said, "You know, it's not even dark or anything." I said, "I'm bushed." I I overdid it more yesterday, getting everything together. Just started extracting today than I did even when y'all were out here. You know,
Yeah.
too much time on the concrete's what kills me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's for anybody.
Yeah.
I can't imagine with a hip replacement.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if you could have like some rubber mats out there, like chefs walk on all day. You know, they walk on.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, that's really light.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, that's white.
Right?
Yep.
That's
is
my that's my just plain creamed honey.
Okay.
And then I just made a batch of here's my cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, look how
Hey.
light that is.
Is that with your cream pal?
Yes, sir.
Ah, there you go. Well, let's talk about
Is
that.
that not gonna? That came from a pretty light honey source too, did it not, Brian? And didn't that have something to do with it?
Yeah, my honey's pretty typically pretty light, lighter than what who was just showing their honey. I guess that was JW showing.
Yeah,
that honey.
JW did. This is just.
Yeah, mine's about that color.
Yeah, that's
about
basswood.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just the basswood. That was the first I caught straight out of the extractor because I kept smelling all this mint. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And then I asked the group, and everybody started saying basswood. Keith said basswood. So, yeah.
We have some supers that I've extracted, and I've kept them separated in buckets, and it's got the only thing I can think of, it's in the same time as the locust because it's got clear nectar. You know, bees only put one type of nectar in a cell, you know, but surrounded with other types. So it's like water clear, half the frame, and then it's surrounded by something a little lighter amber. The only thing I can think of that was blooming at that time was Russian olive or autumn olive.
Autumn olive, yeah.
Yeah, and that honey mixed, and I don't know if it's mixed with the black locust or whatever. Obviously, you can't separate it, but it definitely has a vanilla-ish flavor to it, ending, and an interesting one at that. It's really good honey. But I was kind of puzzled as to what it is. I've never tasted it before, so.
Well, I hear Chris Chadwick talk about it a lot. He's in West Virginia. And,
yeah, I got some. I got some this year. You know how, Matt, you take and add a third deep to, like, you know, let them go on up in there and you can make a split from it. Mm-hmm. Well, they filled all mine with autumn olive. And so I had to harvest it because they never put any, the queen never came up and put any brood. And that's some good stuff. But when you extract it, it's cloudy. It's got a cloudy look to it. And I put it out in the car, I mean, for 20 minutes, not let it get hot, but just warm. Right, and it clears right up. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I just wish I'd have had supers on.
Yeah, I didn't notice the cloudiness factor. This is actually from one of those buckets that I'm calling potentially autumn olive influenced.
Yeah.
You can see it, but it's lighter on my side. It looks a little darker on the TV or the camera, but definitely has a vanilla.
My autumn olive was probably lighter than anything this year. Mm-hmm. Probably the lightest of all my honeys. So,
y'all know, not changing the subject. I won't change the subject. I just wanted to say this right quick, and we'll get back to the creamed honey. One of the tools that I purchased this year, I've been real impressed with this thing. This thing right here.
Oh, yes.
That's very impressive. I think it works better than a smoker. I really do. I really do.
They scatter quick.
I've got bees that's been mean all year, but they hadn't been mean with this. So I don't know if that's happenstance but I'm just going to give it where it belongs. Put it where it belongs. I've been real impressed with it. I just had to say that. All right, back to where we were.
Hey, I want to do one more show and tell too. I think he
Yeah.
just left, but I got a nice little care package in the mail. I'm not sure if this is one I'm gonna wear because this is so nice.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
He just left out of here.
Yeah, but look how nice that is. Thank
That's
you
a
very
nice-
much, Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real cool.
So I'm not sure if I'll wear that one or that one will go next to JW's. That might go next to, on the collection.
So you just
And that-
pull it out for the live chats, and you won't.
He's
Yeah.
going to have a booth. Ain't he going to have a booth this year?
He
I hope
is, yes.
I hope he's selling them there. I'm going to get one.
And then he sent me some sourwood and some wildflower as well. So if you don't know where Randy lives just west, I believe, of Asheville. So good sourwood country. I've gotten his sourwood before. So thanks,
Yeah,
Randy. Even if you're not here still, thank you very much. This will go in my yogurt in the morning.
I think he actually works at that old, what's the name of that outfit, that old mansion complex?
He used to work at the Biltmore, but he's
Oh, yeah.
retired now,
No.
I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, he's no longer working.
I believe that's why he has all the time to do the wax dipping now. That's my understanding, JW.
So talk about your cream pal some.
Oh,
Yeah, I want to hear about it before we leave.
it's where to start? It took first of all, it was like 2 months late, so that was a little frustrating. The first one arrived broken. That was a little frustrating. So they're cool about it. They sent another one out. It's a learning process though. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's really small, so it runs small batches. So I can get like 5 jars of my honey in one batch running through. So I'm trying to figure out, and you have to do multiple passes through it. Like you're supposed to put honey through it, put it in a refrigerator for 24 hours or 48 hours, and you can do 2 or 3 passes. What I'm trying to figure out is how I'm using the 2 creamers together. So instead of putting my honey through this multiple times, I'm pulling out my creamed honey from my old creamer and then putting it through this. And that's that white creamed honey I just showed you here. So it's I'm still trying to figure out how to use it efficiently. What's really good about it is I can jar honey right from there. So in the past where I was making a bucket of whatever flavored honey and then using a gate, the jarring of it is saving me a lot of time. I'm also figuring out how to do the flavorings, adding the flavoring into that and letting that mix it up together instead of the drill and the big cream, the big bucket thing. So yeah, I want a 21st bee hat. That's right, Michael. I've been bugging you for one of those hats for a while. That's a really cool design. But he's got a really big head. I don't have a big head, and Michael does. So if he gets those big hats, I'm not sure. But so I'm trying to figure out how to dial that flavoring part in. It's actually pretty easy to clean too. Like cleaning this big tank, this 18-gallon tank, is a little bit of work. But this one, I just pour a couple of, it takes like 5 pounds. So I'll put 5 pounds of honey in, I'll put 5 pounds of water in, let it go for a minute, and then drain it out. So I've got it on this it's like a tiny mini honey warmer, and then I can put a bucket underneath and the water goes right through it. I can do that like 4 times and it's cleaned out. So I can do some flavored test batches really easily and do small batches really nicely. I'm still figuring it out though. I've only played with it for like 2 days, really, really intensely. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And I haven't even tasted it yet. This is honey that's been in my fridge setting for like 2 days. I can't even tell you yet how the product is. I'll have to pull this out, let it get to room temperature, see what it ends up looking like. But
So
yeah.
I have a question.
Yep.
So are you using seed honey already? You know, your seeded honey, is that how you put it in?
Well, yeah,
Or
it's the cream. It's the creamed honey that's already in my creamer. There's
okay,
already honey in there, so you could call that a seed, I guess.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, and then
You
okay,
you could tell if anybody was there at the expo in January. Brian was hooked. You could tell. I knew he was going home with one, or
Well, this is.
at least with a receipt.
I mean, this is part of my money maker, Joey. You know
Yeah.
that,
oh yeah,
You
and to
probably
get
sell
that
more than anybody does.
right, so to get a little bit of an edge and kind of make my product be a little bit better, it's you can get to 90%, but to get from 90 to 95% or 95 to 98%, that's that trying to stand above and beyond the rest. And really what sold it to me, like there's certain things that aren't ideal about it, like how much honey I can put in it at a time, but the compactability is something that really fits my needs right now. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to test this year. They talked about how the creamed honey is going to fare better in really warm temperatures at the market. So again, I'm bringing so much creamed honey to the market all summer long. If I don't have to worry about protecting that honey, that product quite as much, I'll make more money because I'll be able to have creamed honey on the table instead of a little easel saying creamed honey in the cooler and listing my flavors there. So it's an investment, and it's an investment in my craft, and hopefully it'll work out. But I can see what I really can see a need for is like a Cream Pals support group. They need to have like a Facebook page where all the people that have Cream Pal are like just sharing all their ideas and asking questions, because it's the kind of thing where the better you are at using the tool, the better your product's going to be. And there's variables you can play with that'll take years really to dial in.
sorry about the train if you heard it.
Yeah, no worries. But that's
Yeah,
why
I don't.
I want to get a little bit of that spotted lanternfly honey and run it through it and see what
Yeah,
ends up it tastes like. How does that change
we'll
going
make
through
it
that
happen.
creaming process, right?
Yeah, we'll
That'd
make
be
it happen.
interesting. Yeah.
You need
Yeah,
about 5 gallons of it, huh?
No,
a little
5
more.
pounds. Just 5 pounds,
Oh,
Joey.
5 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to mute this yet. I'm going to have to figure that out. But the one thing I wanted to say while Michael's over here in the chat, is I didn't have a good enough flow this year, but I did get 2 frames of combed honey in his frames.
I had a
And
couple. Wasn't
the
pretty, but
crazy thing is, I put all my supers back on to let them clean it up, and I just left those comb honey frames in them, and they got on the soybean flow, and those little jokers started making comb honey out of soybean nectar. So they didn't quite fill them up, but they want to use it. They want to use
well,
those.
I
I
wish
think they're a
I'd put
great
mine
product.
on earlier. I held off on putting my frames in my honey boxes. I was waiting on our tallow.
Yeah.
If I'd have went ahead and put them on when I put mediums on, I'd have had some combed honey. But that kind of aggravated me. I'll try them again next year.
Yeah, I
But they
can't
did a
wait.
couple of them.
Now,
The comb honey I did get was the basswood. So I got so little, I'm just gonna make chunk honey. Everybody asks for it all the time, so I'll make it, stretch and last. So,
I did want to ask you guys. I know Will Toothaker also purchased one of the Cream Pals. Do you guys know of anyone else who purchased a Cream Pal?
no.
I forgot he got one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you were the only one I knew. And it is toothacher because I asked him.
Okay.
Yeah, because I said, "Is it toothacher?" And he says, "No, it's toothacher." I was like, "Okay,"
That's how you pronounce it.
He's
but
leaning
yeah,
into it. Got it.
yeah, I haven't seen him in a while, so
Yeah, we've texted back and forth just because we're like, "Did you get yours? Did you get yours?" That kind of
right.
thing. And I don't know him really well, just kind of casually here on the chats, but I was just kind of getting a feel like who else has one that might be good to reach out to and kind of glean some experiences off of.
Yeah, I think him
Is it
and
an
Bill.
American? Is it an American company, Brian?
No, it's Canadian.
That's
It's out of like Quebec.
Okay. I've never. I think I've heard of them, but I didn't. This is the first detailed explanation of how they kind of work and stuff like that. I'm
Yeah.
so new to the whole thing. Creamed honey is just like. I would love to
Yeah.
get there though. I love the product, and I know it's obviously a value to do so. So
I don't, Amber. I don't think he does. Not that I know of.
Does
He was
Russell have a cream
No,
pal? I don't think
no,
so.
Koopman told me he uses. He told me this at Nobby. He uses a drill and a 5-gallon bucket
Yeah.
to mix his. Now, I mean, unless he's gotten since then, like a Hilco, one. I don't know. I don't know if he has. That's what he told me though in January, because he started explaining how he did his. So I don't know if he's still on here or not, but I I would I want to make creamed honey and I could sell creamed honey, but it has to be plain because you have to be state inspected and all that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm nowhere near ready for all that. I know what has to be done because food safety is my background with Frito-Lay. I got sent all over the country, learning and learning and learning, right? So I walk into a restaurant, some of them I'll turn around and leave. I mean, you go in there and you look and there's water dripping in the kitchen from the ceiling. You don't want to eat there, that's risk of getting salmonella and stuff like that.
I
So,
give you
Man,
credit.
look, I worked in a prison. You ought to walk through the kitchen of a prison.
yeah.
I walked through that one time, and they had one of them big pots. Inmate was cooking rice, and he'd already went. It was cold water, of course. He was already rinsing his rice, but he had his whole arm down in there stirring that rice around instead of using the paddle.
Well, it's still getting cooked, right?
It was already cooked. He was
Oh,
cooling
it's cooked. Oh, okay. So that's the whole deal with us is, let's just say the potato chips, up to a certain point, you want it clean and everything. But once it goes through that fryer and the kill step's done, you cannot have anything, no leaks or anything, you got to really guard that product, So,
if you really want to see something exciting, tour a mayonnaise plant.
Oh, I can't stand mayonnaise, so I wouldn't. I'd be gagging the whole time.
Joey, you see Melissa's comment there? I've done a few batches through my Thorn creamer, and I like it. I know that's Melissa because
I did too.
That's her.
We know who does.
So Kevin Monfelt and Jed Thorne have kind of collaborated on a creaming machine as well. It just came out. I know Tom and Melissa got one of those. I think one of the big differences in their design is the paddles and the proximity of the paddle to the wall as
He's got them right there, right on the edge of that wall.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there are any other major design differences between that style of creamer, but it'll be interesting to see. I guess my question for Melissa, do you see much difference? What was the machine you're using before? Was it a Hilco? And do you see much difference in the product from those two different machines?
I'm not sure she had one prior to that, but you let her answer it.
Okay.
I think they got that at off of Jed at Mid America or whatever that deal is up in Wisconsin this year.
Yeah. And I would also add, Matt, Alicia going to the markets and all the events. That's a great way to move creamed honey because a tasting station is often part of that experience at the booth, right? And so many people don't know what creamed honey is. That education with that tasting station is a great way to educate those people. Yes,
Yeah.
they are right on the edge. Okay.
It makes sense.
Tom's
That's where the
watching.
ice cream makers are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But y'all, we've been on here over 2 hours. I think we'll go ahead and close the chat now. Anybody wants to come in the green room, you better jump on now. But I'll go ahead and say good night to everybody over in the chat. If you hadn't yet, before you leave, hit that like button. Appreciate that. That'll help us get this out. I love this front porch talking. I just love the way this chat goes with the front porch talking. Talk about anything and everything. All right.
Well, thanks for hosting, Joey.
Yeah, thanks, Joey.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all coming on.
See you,
We'll
everybody.
see y'all
Never had so much fun.
on
Have a
the
good
next.
night.
Yeah, me too. Right.
Good to see